Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
Good evening, everyone. 2 Belgian tourists are lucky to be alive tonight after surviving a serious crash at Erebor near Cradle Mountain. The man and woman, both 24 years old, were flown to hospital after their 4-wheel drive rolled down an embankment.
A section of Cradle Mountain Road strewn with belongings. 2 Belgian tourists believed to be returning from a camping trip tonight in hospital. Police called to the confronting scene shortly after midday.
When we arrived, we found that a Toyota Prado 4-wheel drive had left the road on a steep section travelling downhill towards Wilmot. We believe that vehicle's rolled a number of times, crossed a guardrail and travelled a short distance off the road to a stop.
The road was closed in both directions for several hours. Police praising motorists for their patience.
Yeah, the road had to be closed because they lost an awful lot of their belongings across both lanes, as well as numerous parts of the vehicle, so we couldn't allow them through.
The markings on the road illustrate a struggle took place, but what exactly caused the driver to lose control is not yet known. We'll
test the driver for blood, for alcohol and drugs, licensing, registrations, roadworthiness on the vehicle. We'll do our speed calculations, that sort of thing. At this stage, nothing's left. Everything's open-ended.
It's this section of the road here where police believe the driver lost control, the vehicle rolling numerous times over 60 metres before landing down the embankment.
Our main concern is the power lines, so we've had to remove the guardrail and allow access for tow that way. But at this stage, we're unsure if the tow truck can even remove the car.
The incident serving as a reminder to all road users.
Drive to the conditions, watch your speed and be attentive at all times.
Jessie Gilmore, 7 Tasmania News.
Authorities have reassured taxpayers 2 new Spirit of Tasmania vessels are still on track to be delivered, despite trouble with the shipbuilder. It's been revealed the German company in charge of the $700 million build is facing significant financial difficulties. But TT Line says it's confident in the project's future.
Our current Spirit of Tasmania vessels are awaiting their $700 million replacements. But there could be concern on the horizon. The German shipbuilder FSG, contracted to build 2 replacement ships, revealed to be facing financial difficulties. TT Line today reassuring Tasmanians they still remain confident of the vessel's delivery.
Our contract is for the delivery of 2 ships in 2021. As I sit here now, that is still the case. We have no reason to believe that the contract will change.
Saying he won't know their exact financial situation for up to 8 weeks.
We're now in discussions with the other shortlisted shipyards, just in the unusual event that the shipyard can't fulfil the contract.
Europe's been through some financial traumas in recent years, we all know that, so I don't think this is news to anybody from that perspective.
We've got 2 ships which are currently on Bass Strait that have got at least a decade or so left. Should that be required, I wouldn't expect that would be so, but we are able to cover obviously passenger movements across the Bass Strait for the longer term.
So far, no taxpayer money has been handed over to the builders.
We have not paid a deposit, we haven't paid any money to the shipyard in terms of the contract, and we won't do so until we can be satisfied with a guarantee, a refund guarantee.
This is the biggest purchase that Tasmania has ever made. It is incumbent on the Deputy Premier now to ensure that these ferries are delivered on time and on budget.
The new ship's expected to increase capacity by 30%. Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
Despite rain falling across much of the state overnight and throughout today, fire authorities are reminding Tasmanians many communities are not out of the woods just yet. While rain worked to suppress some major fires, low cloud has been hampering aircraft efforts. Louise Hedger has this report.
No doubt a collective sigh of relief as rain fell and continued to fall overnight and through the day across much of the state. Here in Hobart, we received around 25 mils, but in Geeveston, where fires have been raging for weeks on end, threatening homes and properties, the downpour provided around 17 mils of rain.
So we've received up above 20 millimetres across most of the areas where we've got active fire in the landscape. And that'll certainly quieten the fires down, but it's not going to extinguish them. So,
while the rain did provide some respite, it hasn't quite been the big wet authorities have been hoping for and has caused some different issues. Efforts by aircraft deployed to waterbomb blazes and monitor sites hampered by low cloud, particularly on the west coast.
That's playing real havoc with our operations today, so we effectively can't actually get people in onto the firegrounds where we have to airlift them in, so that's not been an option for us today.
Across the state, crews are still working to strengthen containment lines and create new ones where they can.
The danger is certainly not over. It's really just a lull in proceedings, so we need the public to remain vigilant.
Authorities hoping for mild weather throughout the rest of this summer season, but bracing for more hot and windy conditions.
Nurses have continued to protest the government's 2% wages cap today, holding stop work meetings outside the state's hospitals. Months of negotiations have so far failed to reach an agreement between the government and the union. Today, operating and theatre staff walked off the job calling for better pay and conditions.
From last week's discussions with the Premier and Treasurer, I think we are getting close. However, we have been talking to our members and they felt that we needed to continue with our planned action just to get it over the line.
The fact is we continue to negotiate. We don't accept industrial action that affects patient outcomes, and we certainly don't accept industrial action that leaves patients in the lurch who are entitled to their health care.
The union said patient safety was not put at risk by the protests. A Burnie-born soldier and Victoria Cross recipient has today been commemorated at a community ceremony. A bronze statue now serving as a permanent reminder of Corporal Cameron Baird's legacy.
He made the ultimate sacrifice, giving his life to save others when on assignment in Afghanistan in 2013. Corporal Cameron Baird was posthumously awarded the Victoria Cross, and today the Burnie-born soldier was again remembered, a bronze statue unveiled in his honour.
It's a great testament to his upbringing, his family and all those around him, and to his colleagues as well.
His father Doug flying in from Queensland to attend today's service, saying Cameron will forever live on through the respect of others.
I think the one that really hit us hard was a number of parents at the Australian War Memorial which approached us, and they told us the story that their son was alive today for something that Cameron did on the battlefield that virtually saved their life, and that happened 3 times. So it's very, very moving, and it's so important we hear those sort of stories.
To die at just 32 years of age is tragic, but what Cameron stood for has made our state and nation proud.
The statue come today is all about respect. Cameron being our 100th Victoria Cross recipient, and as it's been stated, Tasmania has provided 14 now, Cameron being the 14th. It's an extreme honour. It's the highest award that our country can bestow a certain person.
And he lives on every time I walk into that club, when I see his picture, and his words aspire to inspire.
The mini replica was purchased by the Burnie City Council and will remain on display at the Makers Workshop for years to come. Jessie Gilmore, 7 Tasmania News.
The fire service is urging Tasmanians to remain alert for bushfires, with the season still weeks away from finishing. Tonight we go back to the scene to see how experts try to predict fire behaviour and how authorities can reduce their risk.
These are some of the brains of the operation to manage Tasmania's bushfire outbreaks, what are called FBANs, Fire Behaviour Analysts.
Tasmania is known for its mountainous and difficult terrain, and it's one of the more difficult places globally to predict fire behaviour.
Using specialist technology, they try to model and predict where fires might go under certain weather scenarios and fuel loads, mapping fire intensity, boundaries and ember density. This is the information that helps authorities in issuing alerts.
There's probably a bit of warning fatigue out there, However, you know, we use the best information available at the time to paint the, you know, possible worst case scenario.
One of the difficulties in the recent outbreaks, the terrain and localised weather. Some extreme conditions even creating fire tornadoes, like these ones captured near Glen Huon last week.
Any fire, once it reaches a certain size or magnitude, is inputting a lot of energy into what is a three-dimensional atmosphere. These fires do create their own weather systems.
While there's been some relief for firefighters, the experts are urging Tasmanians to remain on guard, with the season still going and blazes still burning. Michael Breen, 7 Tasmania News.
The stage is set for 150 acts lining up for this year's Party in the Paddock Festival, but organisers are pleading with the 7,500 partygoers to play it safe after a spate of festival deaths around the country.
With just a few hours until the party starts, the only thing left to do is glitter up.
Braiding, hair extensions, glittering. Anyone who feels like they're not quite festival ready comes here first.
For the next 3 days, White Hills will be home to thousands of partygoers, as well as a long lineup boasting the likes of Lily Allen, the Presets, and the Jungle Giants.
Wake up, turn around, you're my girl.
I always pinch myself. It started as 1,000 people on hay bales, and now we're looking at 7,500 people. So it's really exciting.
But if you want a ticket, you're out of luck.
We are officially sold out as of today.
Safety is a major focus this year after a spate of drug deaths at festivals around the country.
There is no judgment. So if you are feeling unwell, if you experience any symptoms that are abnormal for you, please come and see us and please tell us what you have taken. It won't get referred to the police, but we just need to know to be able to treat you properly.
Organisers are also backing calls for pill testing.
We do hope that we can provide pill testing in 2020. I think it's a progressive way forward and youth culture is asking for it.
But Tasmania's Health Minister isn't.
I think that is a recipe for disaster. That's why other states aren't doing this.
The festival kicks off tonight. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
A Tasmanian cat shelter has been pushed to the limit after being flooded with unwanted kittens. The hunt is now on to find owners for 300 friendly felines, with costs starting to add up for the shelter.
Being a cat isn't exactly hard work, but looking after hundreds of them certainly is.
In January we've had 200 cats surrendered to Just Cats, which is more than what we were hoping for.
Unwanted Christmas pets and kitten season has pushed Just Cats to the limit. The shelter has also taken responsibility for the former RSPCA site in Mowbray. Now there's no room left at the inn, and the shelter is relying on its network of carers.
When we're full, they tend to go into foster care, but we've got 89 in foster care at the moment.
And the solution? It's the same as it's always been.
Desexing, so we really need to make that either mandatory or really educate people of the importance of desexing their cat.
The influx is starting to bite. It costs roughly $4,500 each week to run the shelter. With more than 200 kittens waiting for a loving owner, anyone can get the pick of the litter. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
Today also marks the 52nd anniversary of Tasmania's Black Tuesday bushfires. 62 people were killed and 900 injured when large parts of southern Tasmania were hit by the firestorm. The blazes consumed almost 1,300 homes and came within 2 kilometres of the Hobart CBD. The 1967 disaster triggered a massive expansion of our state's volunteer fire brigades.
The countdown is on for the Hobart Hurricanes' crucial clash against the Melbourne Renegades at Blunston Arena. For more, we're joined live by Tom Cooper, who's at the ground. And Tom, there's a bit riding on tonight's game.
Good evening, Tom. Well, there sure is. The Canes need just one more win from their final 2 matches to secure that all-important home final. So a result here tonight against the Renegades is sure to whip the Blunston crowd into a bit of a frenzy. but a loss will carry with it some unwanted stress heading into the side's final match against the Sydney Thunder in Canberra on Saturday night. Now, the Canes are coming off a 7-wicket loss to the Adelaide Strikers in Launceston last week, so they'll be very keen to get back on the winners list. I caught up with coach Adam Griffith a short time ago. Let's have a listen. Griff, it's a pretty simple equation tonight. You win, you secure yourselves a home final, and you alleviate a little bit of the pressure heading into that last match, I suppose.
Absolutely, and also, winning form's good form. So, we lost last game, so to be able to get that win tonight will just give us that little kick to go into the back end of the season.
Has that been something that's been playing on the group's mind today?
No, not at all. I mean, they've prepared as well as they've prepared all season, and no one's talking any differently to what we have been. And I suppose that's the strength of this group, is they stick to the process and stick to our structures, and it's been working for us.
In terms of the batting order, it would seem you guys are a lot more comfortable chasing down runs rather than defending, especially here at Blunston Arena. I'm assuming if you win the toss, that's the plan?
Oh, look, I think throughout the whole tournament, if you look at the numbers, it's for the teams batting second have won a majority of the games. So that's where we're comfortable. But to be able to bat first and defend is something we need to do really well as well. So either or, just got to start well and either take wickets early or get through that power play with the bat.
The Melbourne Renegades breathing down your neck up the top of the ladder, coming off 3 wins on the trot. And they also welcome back Marcus Harris and Aaron Finch tonight. What's your message to the group just before the game?
Yeah, they're a strong team, aren't they? Finchie's been back for a couple of games from now, and Harry comes back, and they're 2 international quality players. So, but like I said before, the message doesn't change too much for our guys. We just want to do our jobs really well. We plan really well for the opposition, but as long as everyone does their job, then that should hold us in good stead.
You got yourselves a new leg spinner, KS Armour. Does he get a bowl tonight?
He'll bowl tonight, yeah. That's what we've got him out here for. So he'll come into the team for Freeman tonight, and we're really looking forward to what he can do. He trained really well yesterday, and it's exciting when you get a new player into the group.
Well, there you have it. That's on the Hurricanes and Tassal bushfire appeal is also happening here tonight. So for every 6 a Hobart player whacks into the stands here, $1,000 will be donated to those affected by those fires. The stands are starting to fill up now. As you can see, the weather has well and truly cleared for what promises to be a massive night of Big Bash. The game will, of course, be shown right here on 7 Tasmania, straight after the news, but for now, it is back to you.
Well, still on cricket, and Tasmania is holding its own at the National Indigenous Cricket Championships in Alice Springs, with the side currently sitting 4th on the tournament ladder, following 2 wins from its first 3 matches. The Tassie boys have 2 more games before finals begin this weekend, when sides will compete for the national T20 title. Well, the Hawthorn Football Club is no closer to naming a captain for 2019, according to former skipper Jared Ruffhead, who stepped down from the role last November. The club is hoping to make an announcement on the leadership group in the coming weeks.
We've probably got 5 or 6 blokes that could fill the void, but to name one would probably be unfair to the other blokes that are, vying for the captaincy as well.
The Hawks are in Tasmania for their annual pre-season community camp, which continues around the state tomorrow. 2 young Tasmanian hockey stars are hoping to lift in front of their home crowd this weekend when the FIH Pro League comes to Hobart. Josh Belts and Jack Welsh will join fellow Tasmanian Eddie Ockenden in the Kookaburra squad, taking on Germany at the Tasmanian Hockey Centre on Sunday afternoon, with the side looking to bounce back following losses to the Netherlands and Belgium.
Tassie fans love their hockey. They've always been out and supported it, so the more we can get there, the better, and it'll be really exciting to get as many people there to cheer us on.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be nerves. I've only played a few games, so I'm just going to go out there, try and play confident and see how we go.
The Hockeyroos will also be in action after beginning the tournament with a win over the Netherlands and a loss to Belgium. They take on China on Saturday at 5 p.m, followed by a clash with Germany on Sunday.
Good evening. Yes, a little nervous tonight. A crucial match for the Hurricanes. Let's hope we get the whole game in and no rain just for the match. Plenty of rain about for the last 24 hours though, breaking the spell of dry conditions, but still humid this afternoon. Hobart peaked at 30 degrees. Launceston 26, Burnie 27 and Devonport 24. Temperatures remained above average. Ouse and Smithton 28, Friendly Beaches 27, Flinders Island 26 and St Helens 25, Lyawini and Strawn 22 and King Island 21. Fisher River near Mole Creek recorded 93 23 millimetres of rain to 9 a.m. and 75 fell at Pyangana, while today Campania had 20 millimetres. And the band of cloud that brought that rain shifted quickly to the east of the state. Low-level cloud moved over from the west later. A little sea fog also on the scene over Bass Strait and the west. More cloud pushed over the southeast states, linked to a low to our south. More areas of cloud over WA and the north of the country. Tomorrow, the front is to the east of Tasmania as another moves our way south of a high over the Bight, the monsoon trough not giving way over the far north. Winds increasing to 20 to 30 knots tomorrow morning, but tending more variable at 10 to 15 knots later over the east. But we still have a strong wind warning. That's from Tasman Island clockwise around to Wineglass Bay, so most of the coastal maritime. For tomorrow, possible shower for Hobart, 21 the top for Huonville with a shower and partly cloudy for Campania, 22 the maximum. Launceston, a possible late shower, 23 before that, 21 for Devonport, a late shower for Georgetown and 23 degrees. Burnie, a shower or two and 21, showers for Strawn and also Wynyard, 19 and 21 degrees. And for St Helens tomorrow, a sunny day and 26, 24 the top for Swansea and also a shower there, and for Port Arthur on 22. UV at 9 and 10, that's very high. On Saturday, a few showers contracting to the west and far south by evening, mainly fine on Sunday with showers over the west, showers extending statewide by noon on Monday with fresh gusty northwesterlies. A possible morning storm in Perth tomorrow, cloudy and 24 in Adelaide, showers clearing from Melbourne and a shower or two forecast for Sydney and Brisbane. Conditions okay over Hobart, 27 degrees and sunny, partly cloudy in Launceston 24 and Devonport 23 and partly cloudy. I have had a look on the line, Joe, and I have noticed that there's a 42% chance of a shower over Blunston Arena at 9 p.m. But if that happens, the Hurricanes would have won by then.
Well, let's hope so. Thanks very much for that, Murph. That's all from the news team for now. We'll see you a bit later with updates. Bye-bye.